first hands-on with the PS5 controller and a live gameplay demo of new PS5 gameplay with the controller. And we also have a direct comparison between the PS4 controller and the PS5 controller. You're going to want to watch the video through to the end and watch it in 4K if you can. Let me know your opinions on the controller down below, and if you're getting a PS5 this year, then let me know by clicking like on this video.
DualShock, and I've got that here, my PS4 Pro DualShock. This is a form factor that really has been around since the original PlayStation, in various different forms. There weren't analog sticks back then, but the DualSense introduces a couple new innovations, and having played it here for a couple of hours, I'll kind of summarize those for you before we get into the gameplay. The big things that I've noticed are the adaptive triggers, the L2 and R2. So outside of the game environment, it's kind of down like any controller, but when you're in a game, there's actually the possibility to create tension points or haptics inside of these adaptive triggers. So imagine pulling this down and feeling the pressure from a bow in a bow and arrow, or even in an action game, pulling this down and feeling active reload points, where designers can actually create tension points as you pull this down at percentages and give the player feedback. Controller are the haptics. So PlayStation has had rumble for quite some time, but the haptics add another layer to the experience. It's not just sort of one rumble point, so it's not just kind of on or off. There's the ability to create other sensations. As you'll see in this demo I'm going to show you of Astrobot's Playroom, you'll see what ice feels like, what sand feels like, and different surfaces. The other thing that I've noticed is that the speaker in the DualSense, it feels like it has much more range than the PlayStation 4 speaker, and it often directly ties into what's happening with the haptics. At least in Astro's Playroom, there's much more variety in the types of sounds coming out of the speaker. And I'm sure every game will use it differently or may not use it as much, but at least in this demo, you really do sense that there's a lot going on with the haptics and there's sound that ties into it. And then when you combine that with the Tempest 3D engine in PlayStation 5 for the speakers, the sort of harmony between the controller sound and what's happening in the PlayStation 5 is really unique and interesting. What we're going to check out is Astro's Playroom, and that is the game that comes packed with the PlayStation 5. It is pre-installed on the system. You don't even have to download it. And it's not just like a tutorial demo of 15 minutes. It's a multi-hour game. We're going to get to play one section of it today. And I think the reason we're playing this is because it comes with the system and it really showcases the controller. So, of course, everyone wants to see what Horizon Forbidden West looks like on the system. And this is a demo that is focused, I think, more on the controller and the haptics and the adaptive triggers versus trying to showcase the power of the SSD or true graphics horsepower of PS5. So that's all stuff we can look forward to. We've seen those games at the event, and they look spectacular. So that's another aspect of PS5 that I'm sure hopefully we'll get to see more of in the coming weeks. But at least right now we're going to look at the controller and how that relates to gameplay with Astro's Playroom. So let's call it up here and go hands-on live PS5. So you can even hear the sound of my bot walking around. So full